Hello! Hello again. Let's begin now with communication. How we can communicate effectively in order to do our networking, in order to leverage our careers, in order to actually make more friends and connect with others. There is 3 important things that you need to learn. And if you learn these 3 things, you are, I would say, 50% above to everybody. The first thing is you have to use engaging language. You need to engage people. And you need to engage with language that actually you attract them. And that will be discussed, that will be the major part of this video. The second thing is how to use power of questions. How to make effectively questions in order to actually attract that person. It's like when you play ping pong, you throw one ball, it's like sending a question, so the other person will be obligated to answer that question, and then you continue, and that will be cover the first one because you engage the person in a conversation and you create that connection with the person. And the third one is actively listening. We learn in order to be a good communicator, we need to learn how to listen people. Remember that when we talk about Twitter, and one of the powers of Twitter was most than instead microblogging is actually listening what other people say. And that, because remember, you need to listen to your client, you need to listen to the people you want to attract. So that's the 3 major principles. So let's begin to this video with how to use language that engage people or engage them. In order to do this, there is 3 major principles. One is F, focus on behavior, not in personality. The second is V, be specific. And the third is I, use the I language. So that means you take responsibility of your feelings and your acts. FBI, focus on behavior, not in personality. B, be specific. I, use your I language, the personality of your feelings. Now let's talk about focus on behavior, not in personality. Let's see it's different. Suppose I come to a meeting and you were late, okay? And I said, you are lazy. What about if you come to the meeting and you were late and I said, you were late the last 15 minutes this time and last time was 20 minutes. Is there something going on? What is the difference between this conversation and the another? And what would be your reaction? If I say you are lazy, you immediately put in defensive and you are upset already, so it is very difficult to continue a conversation. If I focus not in your personality but in your behavior that is bothering me, I said, listen, you were late 15 minutes this time and 20 minutes last time. Is there something going on? So that means that I not only worry about you being late, but I worry about you and maybe there is something in your life that I don't know. So actually I engage in a conversation because since I ask a question, you have to answer me, right? You see? Now let's focus on something positive. Suppose you say you are a nice person. What would be your answer? Thank you, right? What you would say? But what about if I said, you make friendly gestures that makes everybody feel welcome. What is the difference? The difference here are being specific. Why I feel like you are a nice person. It's because your gestures, it's because you may feel welcome to the person. So because I'm specific, now you understand what is my goal, what made me feel good, right? So that is the magic that you need to learn. When you talk with somebody and you want to modify the behavior or you want to reinforce the behavior, the best way to do it is being specific and focus on the behavior, not in the personality, okay? If you learn that, you already gain a lot. Now, be specific is very important. That is the F. Now we're going to the B. If you say you provide excellent service, so we're going back to this thing. It's vague, doesn't mean nothing. What do you mean excellent service? I mean, I'm nice with you, I do sometime, I am effective. What exactly you mean? But if you say, you know what, you make the point that each time I answer, I call you, you answer the phone and say hello to every hello or welcome. It made me feel welcome. It made me feel like I can continue talking in the phone with you. So you are more specific. What about if they say, if you are filling an application and they say, you know what, the application is not good. Okay, so what's the problem? So you don't give information. You don't want to begin a conversation with what's the problem. You need to begin the conversation with a solution. What is bothering you? You can say, you know what, in your application, I would like you to give the customers all the information so we are ready. When we fill in the application, we'll be ready with that information. So basically, you being nice and you being specific. What you're really asking to this company is to have a complete information for the customer, so when they fill out the application, they say, oh, I didn't have that information. So they have the information. If you are specific, you're really helping others and also helping yourself because you will be comfortable with whatever you're doing. And the last one is very important because that's a common mistake. And I say mistake because I am about to finish my book about happiness. The book about happiness is about cognitive mistakes. So there is a mistake that you don't take responsibility. And the third one is about I messages. You know, I messages. I messages is really related how you talk with others, taking responsibility of your own feelings and your own thoughts. So you don't say, you make me feel miserable. You say, I feel sad when this happens. So you need to tell the person how you feel, not the person is making you feeling away. One of the basic building blocks of communication is this I statement. I think it's the most important, so you need to be very focused on this. I was telling you, I am about to finish my book about happiness, and one of the sections is about cognitive mistakes. The I is one of the major cognitive mistakes when you don't take responsibility of your feelings and you want to tell the other person that that person makes you feel in that way, that person is doing that for you. Then let me give you some examples to be more specific. Whenever we communicate with another person, it is important that all messages be specific, clear as possible, to avoid any confusion in our communication of ambiguities. The I statement is the best thing to do. That will you take ownership of your message and enable you to express you effectively. There is an example. For example, if you say you make me angry when you say I was lazy. What is that? What about I feel angry when you mention I was lazy? What is the difference? You make me angry when you said I was lazy versus I feel angry when you say I was lazy. Because you're taking responsibility of your own feelings. Okay, and that's important when you make these communications. What about I feel happy when you come every day early? Or what about you make me feel, even the positive or the negative, you don't give responsibility of your feelings, your thoughts, and of your way to think to others. And if you learn to talk about in that way, you're really making a good point in being an effective communicator. Okay, so there are some exercises I would like you to practice, and day by day, each time you find yourself accusing, because that's accusing somebody, you will say, no, let me just go back and say, I feel in this way. Okay.